Canada is thoroughly fooked. Now, I put fooked like I'm talking like Conor McGregor. Canada is thoroughly fooked because if you watched that debate last night, and if you watched it the night before in French, whether or not you think Pierre Poilievre is the lesser of the evils, those four candidates, one of whom is a separatist, one of whom is a freaking jackass, Jagmeet Singh, and the other two candidates who are the professional ones, Canada's fucked because that's the leadership. In the best, most ideal of circumstances, Pierre Poilievre becomes the Prime Minister of Canada, feckless at any event. But they had the debates last night. What you've seen up there is a globalist whore that is Mark J. Carney. You have Pierre Poilievre, who's a political coward, but could have been a contender. And you have the French-Canadian guy, Yves Blanchette, who is a separatist. And I say that with full respect. I mean, he's entitled to believe that. And I can understand Quebec's desire to separate from the Federation of Canada. But understand that if Mark J. Carney is elected Prime Minister of Canada, this will have impact on Canadian-American relations. This is a question asked by Yves Blanchette. Get past his accent. He's a bulldog, whether you like him or not. And understand the corruption of Mark J. Carney. And I'm going to pull up another one. Understand what Mark J. Carney is doing to America with their retaliatory tariffs. They're trying to wage something of a war that can be considered more like terrorism. Listen to this.
You have been the manager of Brookfield.
Brookfield Assets
It's
Management.
supposed to be a green investment fund. But we now know that 50% of the investments of Brookfield is in fossil fuel. It's not so green. You seem to want to support oil and gas industry. That's interesting. You want to support prefab housing, and it's also in the investments of Brookfield, but not in Canada.
Okay, just pause here, just so everybody understands this. When I say that Mark J. Carney is a globalist, corrupt whore, it's because he is. Mark J. Carney, Brookfield Assets Management, he has not disclosed, that's the whole punchline of this, what his interest is in the company. Brookfield Assets Management is basically investing in modular housing. This guy is now promising to deliver modular housing to Canadians, so they can live in basically government-owned ghetto, without disclosing what his assets are, what his interest is in Brookfield Assets Management. Brookfield Assets Management has invested in dirty energy in Brazil, UAE, while this guy right here, that scoundrel son of a bitch on the left, has been advising Justin Trudeau to implement crippling climate crisis policy in Canada.
You want to support nuclear power, smaller reactors, which are more dangerous, by the way, and Brookfield has investments in Westinghouse. You have hidden the money of Brookfield in Bermuda and Cayman Island, $30 billion.
The problem is his accent's a little better. Brookfield Assets Management, a Canadian success story, as this guy's going to say, hides their money in tax havens in Bermuda and the Cayman Islands. $13 billion.
Billions of dollars lost for Canada. You are having your taxes being paid by families, workers, elders in Canada and Quebec instead of paying your own taxes. So I want to know, will you, before the election, reveal all the details of your assets, as Mr. Singh has done, as Mr. Poilievre has done, and as I have done? We have a right to know under those circumstances.
Let's pause it. I don't like Yves Blanchette politically, because I think some of his stuff is a little bit too Quebec-centric and not paying attention to the rest of Canada, but that's his mandate. Why is Yves Blanchette giving Mark Carney a harder time than Pierre Poilievre? I mean, why am I giving Mark Carney a harder time than Pierre Poilievre? It's good. Pierre is lucky that he can benefit off the fighters on the side here. That's one hell of a freaking question. Get past his English, get past his accent. Why haven't you disclosed your assets? You take $13 billion and offshore it to the Cayman Islands. You take your company out of Canada into America. You are a globalist whore who is now coming, and basically, if Canadians are stupid enough to do it, or maybe they just love being dominated by a globalist, this guy could be the next Prime Minister of Canada, and the Liberals could actually pick up seats in the next election. Let's hear the answer.
Let him answer.
Well, the first thing is, I want to say a word about, I'll say a word about Brookfield.
How would you answer the fucking question, Carney? Yeah, the first thing is, let me go into a soliloquy. That's not answering the question. Scoundrels, snakes, and if you don't know how to identify it, you get fooled by it. I've asked you a question. Why will you not disclose your assets? Let me tell you a story about when I was a child. I was raised by middle-class parents.
This is a Canadian success story. It is the largest infrastructure investor and developer in the world. It is one of the largest, if not the largest, developer of renewable power in the world. And who benefits from that? That's Canadian pensioners. That's Quebec pensioners. That is teachers. That firefighters.
Firefighters.
It is a series of people, including individuals on this stage.
Does that mean him? Like, is that what he was just saying? Yeah, Brookfield, it benefits people, including some on this stage.
Benefit from that. Now. Always acted with integrity. Served the shareholders of Brookfield when I was there. I have left that. I have followed all the rules well in advance.
So
I have followed all the rules well in advance.
Let's reveal your assets like we all did.
And working for the people of Canada.
What do you own? Why don't you tell Canadians?
And that is time, gentlemen. Moderator, get the hell out. You're fired. That's all. I'm sorry. Hey, you know what I didn't hear in that minute of verbal diarrhea? An answer. That wasn't the best highlight, though. The best highlight was this one. Yeah, this is when Pierre gives it here. Let's bring this one up.
And you advised governments, including Justin Trudeau's, your Liberal government, to print money, which led to the worst inflation prices in a generation. Now, that means that mothers went to bed with empty fridges and empty bank accounts.
See, I don't particularly care for this type of melodramatic layup or laying the bricks, but whatever, that's what Pierre decided for strategy.
How they'd feed their kids, that seniors worried they'd be evicted from their homes, that young people believed they'd never be able to own a home in the first place. Now, in retrospect, you look back on the Liberal decisions that you advised Justin Trudeau to take.
For the last 5 years.
You looked at the camera in the eye and apologized to the many people who suffered as a result of the inflationary policies that you advised Justin Trudeau to implement.
1.
It's
2. 3, 4.
I said earlier,
5.
but I'm going to say it again. I know you want to be running against Justin Trudeau. Justin Trudeau isn't here.
Are you denying you were his economic advisor?
I did not provide any of that advice. I did not provide any of that advice.
On the Liberal Party website.
Sorry. The body language, the behavior panel is going to have a field day with this. I consider myself to be an amateur, but I'm still above average. Look at how he gets so flipping defensive and tries to laugh off a hard truth.
Advice. I did not provide any of that advice.
On the Liberal Party website. I'm sorry. Are you accusing
you see that face right there?
of lying about your role? Because it says today the Liberal Party accusing your Liberal Party of lying about your role.
Hold on here. Where was
it?
Right there.
I'm sorry. Are you accusing your Liberal Party of lying about your role? Because it says today you can go to the Liberal Party website now, and it says that you were Justin Trudeau's economic advisor.
The way you judge
again, just not outright not
is
answering.
how they act.
He's awful. He's just so flippin' awful, and how it's not just not close. How he's in the lead should scare the living hell out of everybody. I mean, it's horrendous. But by the way, I know you wish Justin Trudeau were here, but he's not. Like, you think the whole scheme now is laid bare. Throw in a new face and leave in the old infrastructure, but the new face is an old face because he's been advising Justin Trudeau for 5 years. On that tweet, go to the WEF website. Hold on. What's his face? Mark Carney, WEF. Just go to the WEF website. It's like they lie to your face with not impunity, with like you're an idiot. They expect you to believe it. Where was it? Carney also worked as one of the many informal advisors to Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau during the COVID-19 pandemic and was made chair of the Liberal Party's Economic Growth Task Force in September 24. This is on the WEF website. And this MFer is leading in the polls because nobody is going hard on Carney. Poiliev is going to get creamed sleeping dick wound. Well, your name is fine. But by the way, I know you. Let me not answer your question. Let's just say something pre-rehearsed. I know you want Justin Trudeau up here, but I'm here. I'm not Justin Trudeau. I just do the same dick wagging thing with this fucking guy. I'm sorry, this guy's name. What's his name? Hold on, I'll get his name in a second. He's not Justin Trudeau, by the way. His name starts with a W.
Congratulations, Mr. Trudeau. You've joined the Hip Flip Club. Really appreciate it.
It's an exclusive membership. I'm very pleased about it.
What's that guy's name? Narduar.
Congratulations, Mr. Trudeau. You've joined the Hip Flip Club. Really appreciate it.
It's an exclusive membership. I'm very pleased
Narduar.
about it.
I mean, it's horrifying. But he's not Justin Trudeau. They just do the same Nardwuar hip flip. Apparently, that guy used to interview rock stars, and he used to be, and he interviews politicians. He's not Justin Trudeau. He's just been advising Justin Trudeau. He's not Justin Trudeau. They just do the same homoerotic, whatever the hell that is, bizarre dances. That's what's going on in Canada, people.
And I'll start it off, Mr. Carney, with you, and then we go from there. Do you still support dollar-for-dollar tariffs, even if they ultimately threaten Canadian jobs and businesses?
No, and in fact, we've already moved off from dollar-for-dollar tariffs. We have to recognize, and I think we all do, the United States economy is more than 10 times the size of the Canadian economy. And the principle in terms of our counter tariffs is to have maximum impact in the United States, as I said a moment ago, minimum impact here. So we have to think about the impact on Canadian businesses. I'll give you one example, if I may. In the auto sector, the way we've designed those auto tariffs is that Canadian automakers, if they maintain production here, if they maintain their investments here, when I say Canadian automakers, I mean automakers that have jobs and plants and production in Canada, then they can have lower tariffs on what they ship to the United States. We create a huge incentive for them in order to do that. We also have carved out the Canadian auto parts sector. Last point, I know you're pressed for time, the Canadian auto parts sector, so that it can remain competitive with the United States. We're focused on maximizing Canadian jobs, maximizing the harm in the U.S., so that we get them where we need them.
Mr. Poilievre, you want in, then Mr. Singh.